The last things I heard them say was, you lied to us. You lied to us. And then I heard 2 pops. My mom screamed. I yelled out for her. And a couple more pops.
This is the shocking true story of Jennifer Pan, a young woman from a well-to-do family who orchestrated a plan to have her parents murdered in their own home. Through a series of lies and deceit, Jennifer convinced her boyfriend and a group of hitmen to carry out the heinous crime, all in an effort to gain control of her inheritance and live life on her own terms. But as we delve deeper into the details of this chilling case, we'll see that the truth is often stranger than fiction, and that even the most careful constructed plans can unravel in the most unexpected ways. This is the story of a young innocent girl who hired hitmen to kill her parents. In the quiet suburban town of Markham, Ontario, Jennifer Pan was a model daughter, a straight-A student at a Catholic secondary school, dedicated to her studies and following the strict rules set by her Vietnamese refugee parents. She never attended school dances or parties, and spent her free time practicing piano, figure skating, and martial arts. Her parents had high expectations for her, and Jennifer worked tirelessly to meet them. But, as it turns out, Jennifer's perfect academic record was all a lie. She had been forging report cards and university transcripts for years, deceiving her parents and the world around her. To make matters worse, she had a secret boyfriend named Daniel Wong, with whom she had been involved for 7 long years. Eventually, the lies caught up with Jennifer, and her parents found out the truth. But rather than face the consequences of her deceit, Jennifer hatched a sinister plan with Daniel to have her own parents murdered. The two of them orchestrated a hit, but things didn't go as planned, and the police soon uncovered their twisted plot. Jennifer's once perfect world came crashing down around her, and her parents' dreams of a better life in Canada were tragically cut short. The true story of Jennifer Pan is a shocking reminder that even seemingly perfect lives can be hiding dark secrets and sinister motives. Jennifer's parents came to Canada in 1979 as refugees from Vietnam with very little and had to work hard to provide a better life for their children, Jennifer and Felix. Despite the language barrier, her father found a job in auto parts manufacturing, and the family was eventually able to build their wealth. The Pan family had worked hard to build a comfortable life in Markham, Ontario. Huy Han and Beach Ha Pan, both Vietnamese refugees, had saved up to purchase a large home, a Lexus and a Mercedes, and even managed to accumulate $200,000 in savings. They were dedicated parents who wanted the best for their daughter Jennifer, enrolling her in piano lessons at the young age of 4 and figure skating during her elementary school years. In high school, Jennifer appeared to be thriving both academically and socially. However, Jennifer's hopes of becoming a professional skater were shattered when she tore a ligament in her knee, and as she entered 8th grade, she began to self-harm. In 11th grade, Jennifer found solace in dating a senior named Daniel Wong. However, their relationship hit a roadblock when police found marijuana in his car, forcing him to transfer to a new school. Soon after, Jennifer's grades began to slip from A's to B's, but she managed to get accepted into Ryerson University early. However, in her senior year, she failed calculus, and the college withdrew their offer. Faced with the prospect of disappointing her parents, Jennifer started forging her report cards to make it appear as though she was still attending Ryerson. She even convinced her father that she had received a $3,000 scholarship and was using the money to purchase a laptop for her studies. In reality, Jennifer was simply commuting to cafes or to Daniel's dorm pretending to attend classes. She claimed to have successfully transferred to the University of Toronto in 2006, and even managed to convince her father that she was still a student there. As the years went on, Jennifer's lies only grew more elaborate. When her graduation ceremony loomed in 2008, she claimed that the university only gave out one ticket per student, and that she had given hers to a friend so as not to exclude one of her parents. The truth was that she had never graduated from university at all. This web of deceit would eventually lead Jennifer down a dark path, culminating in a shocking true crime story that would make headlines around the world. After Jennifer Pan's elaborate lies about graduating from college were exposed, she regained her parents' trust over the next 2 years. However, when she reconnected with her secret boyfriend Daniel WONG, the two began plotting to kill her parents. WONG introduced Pan to Lenford Crawford, an acquaintance from the underworld, and Pan agreed to pay him $10,000 from her inheritance in exchange for carrying out the murder. Crawford prepared for the hit by scoping out the Pan's neighborhood on Halloween 2010. On November 8, 2010, Crawford texted Pan saying, quote, "After work will be game time." The plan was for Crawford to break into the Pan household, tie up Jennifer's parents, and steal their money, making it look like a robbery gone wrong. She lured her parents, Hui Han and Beach Ha, to bed that night, then unlocked the front door to allow the hitmen into the house. While her mother was reading downstairs, Jennifer turned on the lights in the upstairs study, signaling the hitmen to enter. They tied Jennifer to the banister with a shoelace and took her parents to the basement, where they shot and killed Beach Ha Pan and attempted to kill Hui Han Pan. But things didn't turn out quite as Pan expected. Her mother was killed by 2 shots to the back and 1 to the head, but her father managed to survive after being shot in the head and shoulder, despite being in a coma for some time. After the crime was over with, Jennifer called 911.
What's your name?
My name is Jennifer.
Someone just broke in?
Someone broke in and I heard shots like pops. I don't know what's happening. I'm tied upstairs.
Does it sound like gunshots?
I don't know what it sounds like. I just heard a pop.
The police arrived at the crime scene soon after, and a months-long investigation started. As the investigation unfurled, Pan struggled to evade police investigation by creating intricate stories. Despite her initial attempt to explain the strange details of the break-in, including the fact that the thieves did not take the keys to the family's cars and only shot 2 of the 3 witnesses, authorities remained suspicious. The police began to grow suspicious of Jennifer's behavior during questioning, particularly her ability to reach her phone while she was supposed to be tied to the banister. How could she possibly have called the police under such circumstances? Matters became even worse for her when her father recovered from the attack. Pan was unable to avoid the consequences of her actions due to the testimony of her father, who was heartbroken over what had happened. Han noted that there was a notable difference in how the robbers treated him and his wife compared to his daughter, as she was never tied up, and they spoke to her softly. He claimed he saw Jennifer whispering to one of the hitmen, quote, "like a friend." The police began monitoring Pan's actions. Nearly 2 weeks later, she was brought in for questioning again, where she changed her story to claim that the incident was actually a plan to commit suicide. However, her hired hands accidentally killed her parents instead. Under further questioning, Jennifer cracked and admitted to her role in the plot. Pan was immediately arrested, and the subsequent investigation led to the arrest of her boyfriend WONG and his 3 accomplices, all of whom were charged with the crime. Surprisingly, the fatal shooting that occurred to Jennifer Pan's family home in November 2010 was not the first time she had contemplated having her parents murdered. In the summer of 2010, she met with RICARDO DUNCAN for bubble tea, and they plotted together to kill her father. Pan stated that she gave Duncan $1,500 to carry out the hit. However, Duncan stopped responding to her calls shortly after, and she eventually realized that he had absconded with her money and had no intention of killing her father. Despite the strict and repressive rules imposed upon her by her parents, Pan and her co-conspirators were convicted of first-degree murder and attempted murder. All 5 were sentenced to 2 concurrent life sentences with eligibility for parole after 25 years in 2014. The judge in the case pushed for the maximum punishment for the attempted murder, emphasizing that it was only by luck that Han had survived. Pan would be 49 years old before she could apply for parole. As the trial unfolded, it became clear that the roots of this unthinkable crime stemmed from the intense pressure and expectations that Jennifer's parents had placed upon her throughout her life. Both parents were working hard and wanted to instill those values in their children. Karen Ho wrote an article for Toronto Life about Jennifer Pan's experiences as a child of Asian immigrants, likening it to her own experiences. Although Jennifer's parents' overprotectiveness was likely out of love and concern to her and her friends, it felt like tyranny. One former classmate, who wished to remain anonymous, described Jennifer's parents as, quote, absolutely controlling. This pressure eventually led to a breaking point, as Jennifer struggled to meet her parents' demands while grappling with her own personal doubts and insecurities. Through her own testimony, Jennifer provides insight into the complex psychological factors that led her down this dark path. Jennifer Pan's parents, particularly her father Han, were extremely strict and only focused on academic achievement, and are rooted in traditional Chinese parental culture. The young girl's life revolved around music and sports lessons, along with a significant amount of time allocated for studying. She was not allowed to socialize, have a boyfriend, or engage in any activities that Han deemed counterproductive to her success. Jennifer's friends viewed her parents as overprotective and controlling, and she felt trapped in her own home. Pan had a deep-seated fear of failure, particularly of failing to meet her parents' expectations. She believed that she wasn't the perfect straight-A student they wanted her to be, and felt that she had nothing truly special to offer. Instead of facing her inadequacies and striving to improve, she grew to hate herself for not measuring up. Her outward appearance of calm and contentment was a facade, as she struggled with self-doubt, anxiety, and feelings of inadequacy. Unable to cope with the glaring pressures and expectations, combined with falling in with the bad crowd, Pan slowly lost her bearings and did the unthinkable. The tragic story of Jennifer Pan serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of perfectionism and the inability to confront one's own shortcomings. But this story is not just about Jennifer Pan. After the case was over and Jennifer Pan was sent to prison, her remaining family continued to struggle, and still does to this day. The shooting left Han with long-lasting physical and emotional effects. Today, he is unable to work due to his anxiety attacks and nightmares, and he experiences constant pain. He cannot find joy in anything, and has to live with relatives because he can no longer stay in his own house. Despite trying to sell the house, no one is willing to buy it. Jennifer's brother Felix moved to the East Coast to escape the shame and negativity associated with his sister's crime, but he still struggles with depression and has become withdrawn. The story of the Pan family highlights the dangers of the extreme pressures that some parents place on their children to succeed at all costs, and how that pressure can result in the ultimate destruction of a family. What do you think of this tragic tale of a golden child gone rogue? Do you think the mistakes of her parents led her down this dark path, or was it entirely her own sinister doing? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more true crime stories.